The stream began when I was very young, but I remember it. How can you forget the moment when all things are changed and will never return to the way they were before? So much confusion, fear, and hope all wrapped up into a single event. Stranger still that the event never stopped, that the stream continues every moment of every day, but it all began with a single sentence, a simple greeting, a simple warning, a simple offer, a simple piece of advice. They are out there. We will help. Prepare. Of course, it took us some time to understand that sentence, to even understand what was happening. We were not ignorant to the universe, but we were yet to be made aware of the fact that we were not alone. Our poets and writers would occasionally craft tales of monsters from the dark, but it was never a seriously considered threat. The stream changed all of that. The single sentence became a feed of information, a constant output of data and context for that data. Data which painted a picture of our peril. Data which explained the war we had already lost without realizing we were embroiled in it. Data which told us of the enemy we did not know but who already moved against us. The Scran. A great tide of empire, flooding over the galaxy. No system was spared. Endless images of shattered, barren worlds populated the stream. Worlds that had been stripped of their resources, harvested to feed the great, unending hunger of the Scran. Countless populations subjugated and enslaved in the rare moments when they were not destroyed outright. We trembled at the sight of it. For all of the conflict within us, we could never imagine such profane destruction. Our education on these matters was difficult to take. Great schisms formed within us as we searched for our path forward. Some would declare their belief in the stream only for others to resist it. The governments of our world, then fragmented and suspicious of one another, made use of the stream for their own purposes. It was a fragile time. Things hung the precipice. Perhaps we would destroy ourselves long before the Scran. We teetered on in this dark moment. I feared we were lost. I wished very much that we could talk to the humans then. I think it would have made that moment easier if the stream could be somehow reversed. But we were receiving messages crafted long before, messages that had traveled the lonely distance of hundreds of light years to reach us. Perhaps the humans were dead before the stream reached us, scoured from the galaxy by the screen. There was no way to know for certain. It was a topic debated endlessly. Why ally ourselves with an unknown? Perhaps the Scran could be negotiated with. Perhaps the humans were deceitful, and the cycle of accusation and mistrust would begin anew, with one more revolution down the spiral to war. I became political at that time. I dedicated to the humanist faction. Every moment of the stream became a source of truth to me, of guidance, of enlightenment. I had it etched upon my heart and fully burned into my mind. If there was to be war among us, I would wage it in favor of the truth revealed by the stream. And then, one day, all things changed again. The endless loop ceased. The familiar greeting, "They are out there, we will help, prepare," was gone, replaced with new content. A single human appeared in the stream now, one that was not included in the original repeating message. She named herself Rika Thorsten. She were the High Chancellor of humanity. She spoke directly to us now, her eyes focused as if speaking to each and every one of us. I am High Chancellor Rika Thorsten. I represent the collective will of humanity, elected and empowered to speak with one voice on behalf of many thousands of worlds. If you are receiving this message, it is because we have identified your civilization as being under threat by the Scran Empire. This message is unique to your world. We have done our best to target and cater it to what we understand, but it is very limited. We expect at this point you will have received our initial message, and are prepared to receive what follows. I thank you for that. I remember leaning forward eagerly, feeling warm and protected, flushed with excitement that humanity had taken the time to reach us, to craft a message meant for us. We are separated by hundreds of light years. Much will have changed between the time I have sent this message and the time you will receive it. I will be long dead, and there will have been many other chancellors that will have followed in my wake. One thing will not change: our resolution to end the Scran threat and protect all worlds from their hate. However, the galaxy is a large place, and the Scran are prolific. We possess far superior capabilities in confrontation, but they spread faster than we can contain them. As a humanist, the acknowledgement of their limitations shook me to the core. Such was my faith in their capabilities that I had never considered an alternative to their eventual victory. It was a sobering and terrifying realization. The problem of distance will be a familiar one. All sentient beings understand the concept of proximity. It's a necessary condition to advanced evolution. I expect your kind will be no different. Currently, distances do not favor your planet. As of this message, the nearest outpost of humanity is some 343 light years from your planet. The nearest Scran is less than 200 years away. While we are capable of a higher percentage of the light speed than they are better suited to traversing these longer distances. There are many reasons for that, but foremost among them is the relative difference in lifespan. A single Scran can live 10 times longer than a human, making it possible for them to field military fleets at distances into the hundreds of light years without requiring an entire colony in support. This is their greatest advantage, along with sheer numbers. A pit developed within me as she continued. Each sentence seemed worse than the one before it. I feared that the sun should go out, and that we might live in darkness forever. In short, we cannot fly to you directly. The sun was snuffed out. I cannot pretend to understand the particular dynamics of your kind, but I can imagine our original message has created any number of issues. I apologize for that. There is no elegant way to introduce yourself across these distances, particularly when the content of the message is so unpleasant. Thankfully, this message brings with it options. Options that your kind must evaluate and act upon if you so choose. Suddenly, her image disappeared, replaced by a set of visuals. Had we not found a way to parse the stream from before, we might have missed it, the human form of communication being wildly different than our own, but we had done as they had asked. Prepare. As I have said, humans possess far greater capabilities than the Scran, particularly with respect to technology. When humanity confronts the Scran, humanity prevails. A series of videos played as she spoke, depicting massive fleets of human vessels. There were dozens of versions ranging from small and sleek to enormous juggernauts. As the videos progressed, they showed the fleets engaged in battle with brilliant lines of light slicing through the Scran opposition. No video showed even a single human ship being destroyed. Subsequent videos showed enormous asteroids and other objects flying through space toward planets at impossible speeds. A flickering message labeled the tactic as Scran Planetary Bombardment. In each case, light beams emitted from around the planet, vaporizing and destroying the objects before reaching the planet. Human planetary defense appeared along the bottom. The Chancellor reappeared then. I stated before that we cannot directly cross the distance between us. The logistics are infeasible. However, there are other options. I cannot say which might be desirable for you. That is for your kind to decide. The most efficient and surest path to fend off the Scran is to allow us to indirectly cross the distance between us. This is accomplished by the assembly of a warp gate. a complex and costly process that we will guide you through. A warp gate allows us to travel immediately between two locations. Much of humanity and our allies have been networked together, making use of this technology, and it has proven to be the most significant tool for repelling the Scran. The strength of humanity resides within that network. A meaningful pause followed then. No networked world has fallen to the Scran. Another pause to let it sink in. I could only remember my glee in that moment. The dawning realization that I might see a human in my lifetime, that we might benefit from direct interaction, that we might learn and grow while also being protected. It was an impossible dream made real. A tangible, powerful goal for the humanist faction to work toward. I could already imagine the campaign slogan, "Join humanity, build the gate." But the Chancellor was not finished. Alternatively, you may attempt to fend off the Scran on your own. At their current rate of advancement, this will give you approximately 400 or 500 standard years to develop a sufficient defense apparatus. Humanity is willing to share technology via this transmission that may provide a suitable deterrent effect. We are unaware of the current state of your technology and access to various required materials, so it will be upon you to determine whether the designs will be feasible. A warning: these designs were effective tools at the time of transmission. It is possible they will no longer be so when the Scran arrives. It should also be stated that the Scran tend to make use of a swarm strategy, meaning that it is not just the presence of the weapons, but possessing a suitable density of those weapons that is required for a successful defense. The Chancellor continued for some time afterward, before concluding her portion of the transmission. What immediately followed was various introductory materials to assist us in parsing the technical schematics that would come afterward. It created an explosion in activity, a massive realignment in the conversation. While division still existed, the Chancellor's message lent weight and momentum to the humanist cause. Piece by piece progress was made. I secured my own place in the political order, driving the effort forward first in my own nation and then in the newly formed Global Council. With time, a resolution was passed. We would build the gate, but not before we would almost destroy ourselves with the weapons humanity gave us.